It's okay. Thank you. All right, we are live on YouTube and live on the Zoom stream.
Okay, I hereby call to order the November 8th, 2023 meeting of the Rockbridge County Planning Commission. Roll call, Commission Member Hennis here, Commission Member Kramer.
Here.
Commission Member Lucas. Commission Member Whitmore.
Here.
Commission Member Watkins. In addition to citizens attending the meeting in person, citizens have several options to view or participate in the Zoom meeting webinar as described below. We will do our best to take citizen comment remotely. There are two options for citizens to offer comment. One, to join the Rockbridge County Planning Commission Zoom webinar. The link is available on the county website to copy into the address line on your browser. To join by telephone, you may dial into one of the numbers listed on the county website. Webinar ID and password are there for your convenience. Citizens wishing to simply view the meeting live or after the fact can do so at the Rockbridge County Planning Commission YouTube channel, also available on the county website. If you wish to make a citizen comment as a Zoom meeting participant, you will use the raise your hand feature. You can press the raise hand button on the bottom of your Zoom window or press *9 if you're calling in by telephone. This time we'll proceed with the meeting. And we have first citizen comments. Do we have anybody physically present to speak?
No, ma'am.
And do we have anybody who wishes to make a comment via Zoom or telephone?
We do have one, but he's associated with the applicant. Sean, this is the citizen comment period for anything that's not on the agenda. You're more than welcome to make a comment if you'd like.
Nope, sorry about that. I'll wait till the Southern Tire Mart piece comes up.
That's quite all right. We'll be
All
right
right.
there shortly.
Okay, we'll move on to the approval of the October 11th, 2023 meeting minutes. Anybody see any additions, corrections? Are we good to go?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
Okay, we have a motion,
I'll second.
second, and all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And the motion passes to approve the minutes as submitted. We're now into board reports, Board of Supervisors meeting minutes.
There was no Board of Supervisors action based on, y'all had 6 public hearings last time. The first one's going to come up with the Board of Supervisors. The first one being the buyers development of the floodways. I'll be on the Board of Supervisors agenda for their agenda and public hearing on the 14th, Tuesday, the 14th. The Holland applications and USS Hilltop Solar will be on the 27th agenda. And Volcano Solar, associated with the Moore property, has asked for deferral. And I reached out to them as of today to essentially have a date certain, but I have not heard back. So that's going to be earliest is going to be November, might be into January. The TCO held a meeting on November 1st, tourism corridor overlay. Of course, we had 3 projects under consideration. The first was some modifications to the Residence Inn. The Residence Inn is under construction, currently in the excavation phase, due to some concerns with VDOT and some MSA concerns on some older water pipe in the area. They moved the retaining wall further towards the site. That made a reduction of parking spaces. If I recall correctly, a total of 4 parking spaces reduced and slight modifications to the location of the building itself. All of those were approved. All those modifications were approved. The second item on the TCO agenda was the Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply, located in the College Square Shopping Center, I believe it's called, is making plans for essentially a detached greenhouse and a screening or essentially a detached greenhouse and some shade area for outside plants. The third and final review of the TCO, again on November 1st, was secure storage of Rockbridge. That's located across the street from the Horse Center on the, I guess it would be the west side of the Rockbridge County Farmers Co-op, Kubota, and sales dealership that's currently under construction. It's not a self-storage business like you would hear secure storage, but rather it's a retail sales of storage buildings. That was approved as well.
Thank you. Item number 5, PFJ Southeast LLC, Pilot Flying J, 713 Oakland Circle, Racine, Virginia, 24472. Public hearing. See participation options below. Application to amend the conditions of the current special exception permit to expand the existing garage associated with the truck stop.
That's correct. It's the existing garage on the property is identified as Southern Tire Mart at Pilot Flying J. Property is identified as 710 and 713 Racine, Virginia 24472, located on the west side of the intersection of Racine Road and Oakland Circle. Property is owned by PJF Southeast LLC, further identified as tax map 28-A-714C, and consists of 22.573 acres per tax records. The property is located in the general business zoning district per section 605.03-18 of the regulations. Truck stops, truck terminals, and truck relay stations are used by special exception in the B1 zoning district. The existing special exception permit was approved by the Board of Supervisors in April of 17 with the following condition. Again, these are conditions that stand currently. Number 1, in addition to the existing facilities, shall develop the project in substantial compliance with the concept plan presented and prepared by Perkins and Orson, dated February 2nd, 2017, and revised on April 18th, 2017. Number 2, the current parking lot shall not be expanded except for as highlighted on revised plan dated April 18th, 2017. And third and final condition is maintain the earthen berm and plantings on the northwest side of the property. The purpose of the pending application is to modify condition number 1 of the current special exception permit to add a 4th bay onto the existing garage. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Sean Doherty with Kimberly Horn. And Sean, you already have permission to talk, so I'll turn the floor over to you. You also should have permission to share your screen if needed, and I could certainly pull up the plans on my end if there's a problem.
Well, good evening, everybody. Appreciate y'all taking the time to hear us out here. Thanks for the introduction there. I think you hit the highlights of what we're trying to do here. Again, Sean Doherty, I'm the civil engineer of record with Kimberly Horn, working with TL Wallace Construction, who will be the contractor performing the work on behalf of Southern Tire Mart. Again, I'll let me see if I can share my screen with you guys. I'm not sure if I can. Maybe that's just on me. Sorry about that, Neil.
That's okay. So this is, bear with me, this is the entire package of the Planning Commission. Let me get to the pertinent section. Would I assume either one of these, here you go, I'll do this and then zoom in on the project area.
Yeah, I think that's perfect if you could do that. So yes, like I was saying, thanks for bringing that up for me. It's really just an expansion of the existing structure. The existing structure has 3 service bays, about 10,500 square feet total for the building. This would be an expansion of just under 2,800 square feet for a 4th bay. We'd have concrete aprons for ingress and egress of the trucks coming in and out of that 4th bay. And then a little bit of asphalt rework as we do some grading immediately adjacent to the existing building. So per the conditions of the existing special exception, everything would be within the confines of what you're looking at right now. No expansion to the existing parking lot or any grading outside of that that immediate area. So I'm happy to answer any questions. There's some utility relocations that we'll be doing, since the existing sanitary sewer would run through the current footprint or the proposed footprint. But I'm not sure if you guys want to get into all the civil engineering design weeds there, but happy to answer any questions that you guys have, if any.
Do I have any questions? Nope. Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we're going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone here publicly or physically to speak?
There's no one signed up.
And anyone on the phone or Zoom?
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. We can get back to that if needed. If anyone would like to make a public comment on the Southern Tire Mart, please raise your hand. Use the raise your hand feature now, please. Not seeing, I'll turn the floor back over to the chair.
Okay, we will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for discussion and questions.
Good.
My only,
Any questions? Yeah. Looks-
my only question was, have they complied with the other things, like they've kept up with the berm and they've done all the things that
Yes,
they
ma'am.
agreed that
To
they
the
would
best of my
do?
knowledge, they have kept up with the berm well. I will say we had some issues with the flow of traffic. As you may recall, during the last special exception process, we worked well with, as always, we work well with the applicant, and they were actually able to rotate the flow of traffic rather than coming directly off of Oakland Circle and going straight into the pump. They created a new entrance only on the left-hand side of the parking lot, and then the flow of traffic would go behind Southern Tire Mart and then around to the backside of the gas pumps. I will say that was a huge success for, we've had a lot of positive comments on that. There was a short time frame that truckers and granted 18-wheeler truckers are hard to control sometimes. If they want to go somewhere, they go somewhere. But with that being said, they were utilizing the entrance only as an exit, and that was a VDOT issue and also a special exception issue. With that being said, we were able, I think VDOT and planning and zoning staff were able to make contact with the owner or owner's representative, obviously. And to best of my knowledge, that has not been an issue in the last year.
Okay.
So to answer your question, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, y'all do have draft conditions in front of you. Approval with conditions, continue, all the normal draft conditions. I will say on number 3, approval contingent upon Virginia Department of Transportation and Building Department, I would request or ask y'all to add the Public Service Authority in there. I'm not sure any approvals are required, but with the proposed improvements, relocation of some of those, that would be appropriate in my opinion.
Okay, thank you. All right, if we don't have any other questions, do we want to make a motion? Somebody want to make a motion for me? Okay,
Make a motion to recommend to the Board of Supervisors that the special exception permit to amend the conditions of the current special exception permit to expand the existing garage, Southern Tire Mart at Pilot Flying J, associated with the truck stop on tax map number 28-A-14C be approved with the following conditions. In addition to the existing facilities, the proposed garage addition overall parking plan and traffic flow plan shall be developed in substantial compliance with the concept plans prepared by McKinley & Horn titled Traffic Flow Plan and plan titled Overall Parking Plan, both dated October 4th, 2023. Number 2, maintain the earthen berm and plantings on the perimeter of the existing parking lot. Number 3, approval contingent on Virginia Department of Transportation, VDOT, Building Department, and Public Service Authority.
okay, we have a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you. On to item number 6, commercial site plan review. This is for the Rockbridge County Murat Collection Center, Murat Road, Route 675. Currently an
Yes.
unmanned site.
It is currently unstaffed collection center. Rockbridge County has submitted the following plans to develop a staff collection center on the west side of Murat Road, further identified as Route 675, approximately 240 feet north of the intersection of Collierstown Road, course 251 and Murat Road. The property is owned by Rockbridge County and is located in the agricultural and general use districts A2 per section 603.02-10 of the County of Rockbridge Land Development Regulations. Public service or public storage buildings are a permitted use in the A2 zoning district. Under the current solid waste plan, at minimum, the existing unstaffed collection center located at the intersection of Big Hill Road, which is further identified as 646, and Turnpike Road, further identified as 770, will be removed after the completion of the Murat Staff Collection Center. I believe this is still right, but Rockbridge County Staff Collection Centers are open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. With that, I'd like to turn the floor over to Daniel Meyer with the solid waste and recycling manager for the county.
Good evening, commissioners. Thank you for giving us time this evening to discuss this program or project, excuse me. One correction, the center currently is staffed. The center is broken up into recycling, which is gated with the times that Chris mentioned, 7 to 6 and then 1 to 6 on Sunday. The solid waste part of it that takes the household trash, that's open 24 hours, but the recycling is gated currently. What we hope to get with this project, back in 2015, we did this strategic plan, and that was to phase out the green box locations. At that time, we had about 25 throughout the county. Over the years, we've completed projects at Cars Creek, Fancy Hill, and most recently the relocation of the Stallings Mountain to Natural Bridge. And this has allowed us to close a number of the green box locations. Currently, we're down to 10 throughout the county. So we made some progress there. This leads to less cost for the hauling of the solid waste. It's just a more efficient way of collecting it. So with the project at Murat, or Murad, depending on your pronunciation, we're looking to install a compactor. Currently, the site has approximately 7 to 8 8-yard cans. These are the square cans that the front load trucks come in and dump over them. Those will be removed. We'll be putting in a compactor like at the other collection centers. This allows us, currently the site is serviced Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and this compactor would allow us to have just once per week service. So we would see a reduction in cost for that. The site itself, I believe you have the plans there in front of you. So as citizens come into the site, they would take a right, and there's going to be an incline that goes up to a throwdown hopper, kind of like what we have at Greenhouse Road and Natural Bridge. We found that those work a little bit better than the side throws like we have at Fancy Hill and Cars Creek. After they dispose of their waste, they can drive back down the incline, and the recycling containers will be there to the left on your plans there. So again, as I mentioned, the site is currently staffed. That'll continue to be a staffed location after the project is completed. The site will feature green fencing, the front of it along Mural Road. We'll have the green privacy slats like we do at Natural Bridge. And I believe the plans call for approximately 17 soft touch Nelly bushes in the front to provide screening as well. So not an engineer, but we'll be glad to answer any questions that you guys have with the project, if you have any.
Nope. You guys have a question?
Just on page 3 of the plans, this has proposed property line. Is that property that needs to be acquired to be able to do this?
I think all of that has, since these plans have been put together, all of that has been rectified. That's along probably the Krantz property where they had to do the boundary adjustment.
Right, that was done between the Deacons and the Krantzes to correct that boundary so that there was no longer an encroachment into the property, and then the balance was conveyed to the county.
I don't know that I've ever been to this one, but looks like it goes by some structures. I mean, obviously it's an existing facility. Has there ever been any issue with the traffic going by I don't know if the residences or if it's part of the sawmill property?
Yeah, going up the road there, the sawmill has a garage to the right, and then the Krantz property would be on the left as you look at the drawings there or the photos. But as of right now, we're going to keep the same, I guess, motion for the traffic to go in and out. But the sawmill, the Deacons, they know the plans, and no issues with that.
I can pull up the GIS if needed. But on your site map here, You have tax map showing 86-A-2A2. It's 1.68 acres per tax records. That has been recently surveyed and of course transferred to the county. So 21 Murrah Road is the Krantz single family dwelling, and then 31 and 33 are associated with the Deacon operation there, if that helps. And I apologize, misspoke. It's funny, I use this collection center fairly often, but it's usually after normal business hours, so I always go to the unstaffed portion of it. So do we have any other hybrid? No. Okay, this is the only portion of it's unstaffed and a portion of it's staffed, essentially. So after this, it will be all staffed, correct? Yeah.
So just a question I have, because I remember when we decided we were going to go away from the green boxes, and a lot of people I heard from were like, oh, now we're just going to have people throwing refrigerators down the side. Have we seen an increase in people not going and just basically just throwing their trash off the side of the road?
No, surprisingly, when we did the Natural Bridge project, we closed 3 sites in Arnold's Valley. And it was a concern there that we would see, but people have adjusted to it. And we've had a lot of good compliments from the folks there. And we really haven't seen an increase in the litter or the waste on the waste sides.
The 10 that we have left, is it going, can you see those going away as well? Is that
That's the plan.
your plan, long-term plan?
Timeline wise, it's as we get more and more of these staff collection centers. We proposed after the Murrah redesign, I believe it's 3 or 4 more, and that would be the build out throughout the county. And then we could look at closing the rest of those green box locations. The 3 biggest ones would be the Boat Lock, the Timber Ridge, and then probably Old Buena Vista Road. And those 3 would probably need to be closed in conjunction with one another, just with their proximity so close to one another. But
Right.
they would probably be the last 3 that we have on the line.
I know people who will drive to that
Oh, yeah.
just because they don't want to go to the man. They're like, we don't want to be judged. I'm like, just go throw your trash away.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so we are just doing a site plan review. So if we don't have any concerns about that, I think we just, somebody would make a motion that we approve the.
That's
site plan
correct.
as
It's
submitted.
site plan review, so it does not include a public hearing, but we do need a motion to approve as submitted. We don't have any pre-prepared motions, but it would just be, if it's the will of the
Yeah.
planning commission, approve as submitted.
Make a motion to approve the site plan as presented to the Murrah Collection Center.
Have a motion,
I second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes.
I still haven't learned how to pronounce it yet.
We're at
Thanks, Dave.
So we are now on to item number 7, which is the comprehensive plan update discussion. He said it correct. That Vivica's, are you on Vivica?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so as you will see, this chapter was presented a few months ago without all the current updates that are here. So this chapter has been fully redone. Everything has been updated. You'll see, as normal, everything that's highlighted in yellow has been updated, and you'll see, especially in this chapter, that is most everything throughout the chapter. This chapter was definitely a bigger undertaking than the others because it required not so much research through online or through the organization's websites, but picking up the phone and calling people and finding the right people to find this information. And so that
We don't have a copy of that with what we have here.
And I apologize, that was my call.
That's fine. I just wanted to confirm what is this chapter that we're looking at?
Community facilities.
Okay. that's
We were
fine.
talking about the paper and everything else.
Right.
That was
Oh,
my
yeah.
call not to
No,
provide a
not
copy. It was, of course,
necessary.
provided in the package.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I just wanted to make sure I knew. So.
Yeah, and so so this I will say I just want to I know I can't thank everyone individually, but I just want to give a collective thank you. There were at least I counted 26 people that I contacted to get this information via email, and that does not include all the people that I made phone calls to find that contact information. And so I just want to give a huge thank you to everyone who helped provide information for this this chapter. So just kind of a brief overview, if you will. It goes through electric power, natural gas, broadband, parks and rec, developed recreation areas, outdoor recreation areas, education, student population, and then it goes into student finances and higher education. And then we get into law enforcement, emergency services, which includes emergency management, as well as fire departments. And then from there, we go to human services, which includes medical services, counseling, and educational. And then residential and senior services and youth services. Then we go to solid waste management, including the county landfill and the recycling program. And then finally into water supply and wastewater disposal for Rockbridge, as well as the two cities and the two towns. So it's a very well-rounded, or it has well-rounded information in it from throughout the area. Again, everything has really been touched. There's nothing that has been left undone. Real quick, as always, I'll go through the goals and objectives that we currently have to see if you guys have any suggestions or recommendations. So the overarching goal is to promote the efficient use of county resources. And then we go to broken down further into objectives to conserve and enhance the natural and recreational resources that provide the foundation of the county's retirement, recreation, and tourist-based economy sectors, and to continue to improve recreational facilities with the emphasis on balancing recreational improvements and opportunities over the entire county for all age groups. Objective number 2 is to recognize the fundamental importance of education and contributing to the health and vitality of the county by providing an equal and quality education for every school-age child in the county. Number 3 is to maintain the quality law enforcement in the county. Also ensure a safe and crime-free environment. Next is to develop the fire and EMS system that meets the needs of the citizens of the county using a combination of volunteer and career fire and EMS agencies. And increase the efficiency of current landfill and trash collection system through an economically feasible and environmentally sound solid waste management system. Meet state mandates for reducing the waste stream. Provide adequate water and sewer facilities in selected areas of the county to meet existing and future needs, improve the quality of life, and maintain a clean and healthy environment. And finally, maintain a wide range of human service activities in the county to meet the needs of all the county's residents. So as you can see, those objectives essentially cover each section, if you will, of information. But if you have any suggestions, recommendations, I would love to discuss that. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you for all your hard work, calling all those people.
I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to read through it yet, but I will. Could you read number 1, goal number 1 again?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, goal or objective?
Objective, if that's
Okay.
what you were just in.
Okay. So again, the goal, the overarching goal, there's just one goal, and that's to promote the efficient use of county resources. But then the first objective is,
I'm sorry.
no worries, to conserve and enhance the natural and recreational resources that provide the foundation of the county's retirement, recreation, and tourist-based economic sectors, and to continue to improve recreational facilities with emphasis on balancing recreational improvements and opportunities over the entire county for all age groups.
Just had a comment, maybe, no offense, Mr. Kramer, but the retirement economy of the county, is that really a thing that we're saying this is one big piece of our economy is to provide a no offense.
Oh, I know where you're going.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could mean you could tie it to a bunch of different things. Preserving every piece of open land so future retirees can come and buy a piece of land and build a house, or
Sure.
it just kind of stuck with me.
Sure.
Normally you would never heard that as necessarily an economic driver.
Just an observation of being in that age group and everything. I think a lot of counties use that as a throwaway. I mean, I've never seen really a lot of action towards that.
I would say, I mean, retirees I know, they're going to plays and they're getting groups together to do, you know, I mean, so, I mean, I think there is a
Yeah.
benefit to having retirees here and
But it's-
investing in our,
It's many economic drivers, though. I mean, retirees would be a part of the overall county population, which, you know, the goal would be to provide these things for everyone. So just up for
okay, perfect.
consideration. What do you all think?
So does that mean I have to leave?
Not yet, not till we're done. No, we will, yeah, I think it's a good comment. Of course, it's the county's retirement and retirement-based economic sector. And so we can essentially take the comment and further explore. I understand where you're coming from, but I also feel that the retirement-based economic sector is such a thing. But maybe there's some balance there that we can add.
Sure.
Well, if you have the aging of America, I mean, you look at our demographics, and it's no different than almost any other rural county that over 65. Just a point in fact, the front end of the baby boomers turned 77 this year.
Sure.
Wow. Okay.
But you may want to expand upon that because you don't have the opposite. You know what I mean? You have the retirement, recreation, and tourist-based economy sectors, but it may be, you know, as well as the obviously what the younger generation brings.
Yeah, Sammy, I think we have to look at that
economics.
too. The fact that the younger
Yeah.
generation can't bring their families back here because they can't afford to buy their first home here. And so I mean, I think that's something we really need to focus on because, you know,
Yeah.
kids can't come back here.
Lawyers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I understand the comment.
All right. Thank you again, Vivica, for your hard
Very
work
nice,
on that.
very nice.
Mhm. So we are on agenda item 8, Community Development Committee update, staff report.
Apologize. Number 8 is the solar ordinance discussion on the agenda. Apologize on the notes page. With that being said, we obviously had 2 work sessions, the one 2 nights ago on Monday. I just put this on here just to say, you know, have an opportunity to discuss it. I didn't know if there were going to be citizen comments based on it that we had an opportunity to discuss during this section. It was more or less a placeholder. Of course, we gave y'all a draft ordinance on Monday's work session, shared with y'all that there will be an update to the Board of Supervisors on Tuesday, the 14th, on the 2 work sessions and where potential path forward, if you will. But no action needed on this. Obviously, it was just sort of a placeholder. So if y'all did have questions or we reacting to citizen comments type thing. So
My biggest question is, where are the citizen comments? Like, I really want to get this in front of people. I mean, it's a big issue out there and lots of people are talking about it, but I feel like, I mean, do we put it in the newspaper or do we take an ad out and say, go to this website? A lot of older people I have people that I'm working with that don't even have a computer, so they're not going to look at that, you know, and they're like, well, can you bring me a copy? Or, you know, I just want to make sure it gets out there because people are asking, and I've got one draft ordinance that I can go around and show people, but you know.
yeah, and so of course it's available online as well. That will be updated accordingly. And that is, and I understand the frustrations on my end as well as everybody, because the work sessions really aren't designed for that. As stated, you know, as stated in the work session, it's not an open forum, but we certainly will. You know, again, I think we'll have the discussion or the agenda item, I should say, on the upcoming Board of Supervisors Tuesday, the 14th. With that being said, there could be some discussion of creating the committee, and then that will just get the public involvement that we're seeking, if you will.
Yeah. We just need to really be transparent about that and get it out there. So
Absolutely.
and now, is there any other business before we adjourn?
We do have a community development update. So we have
Oh, sorry. Okay, so we did miss
community
one.
committee update.
Okay, gotcha.
A lot of it, obviously we had 6 public hearings last month at the October Planning Commission meeting. And so the large majority of the Community Development Committee was discussing those 6 public hearings, time frame moving forward. We also reviewed the sample conditions that could be used for development, and we reviewed the taxation implications for solar development. And that was pretty much, that was a fairly, it was an action-packed community development committee meeting, but that was what it pertained to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so now we are on to any other business before we adjourn.
Yes, I'd like to ask the chair to ask staff if they would investigate a zoning text amendment for recreational facilities in the AT zoning district.
Sure. Of course, this is based on I appreciate that, Mr. Whitmore. This is based on an email that was sent out last week, 2 weeks ago. And so there's a individual in Rockbridge County that's essentially started the conversation with the Planning Commission Board of Supervisors on a proposed zoning text amendment for additional recreational facility, particularly a rock climbing wall. And the idea is that it would be a use by special exception in the agricultural transitional district. We have golf courses, Frisbee golf courses, commercial horse show grounds, parks and recreation type activities for special exceptions in the AT zoning district. So this could piggyback off some of those existing uses. So with that being said, absolutely, we could put it on for discussion purposes, and then but we certainly could do that on the December meeting.
So that would not be, we're not ready for a public hearing or any of that. We're going to
No.
be talking about what that zoning text amendment would look like.
Yes.
And then we would put it out. For the public.
Yep, and it was somewhat of a struggle for me because it's somewhat unusual, but we have parks and playgrounds as a use by special exception in the agricultural transitional now. The definition, there was not clear path forward for this particular use as an indoor facility. With that being said, the permitted use in the same agricultural zoning district are parks and playground as part of approved subdivision. And so the definition's the same. And so that, in my opinion, that could be problematic. So I think this is going to be not only exploring that, but also potentially cleaning up some of the language that we have in there now.
Okay,
So absolutely. Yes, sir.
thank you. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.